Okay, so try not to cough too much.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look how close we are to get. If you want a breath mint, because if you've got bad breath, I'm gonna be smelling it.
I was saying to Steph, I was like, I'm probably gonna murder Rory. One of the things in the podcast will be me punching you in the face. I'm not taking this because you told me to.
Hello, and welcome to Rory and Amber Take a Show Up to Edinburgh Fringe.
Episode 1, The Shrekoning.
Shrekoning, it's very good. What is that? RAATASUTEF is the handy acronym I've made for this.
I don't know why you've picked such an awful name.
It's not an awful name. It's nice and long. It's memorable, really. It rolls off the tongue.
RAATASUTEF.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
so memorable.
No, yeah, it is. So let's stop all that for just a minute. Who are you, and why are you in my room?
I'm Amber. I'm one of the directors for Shrek the Panto, which me and Rory here are taking to Edinburgh Fringe in summer. So yeah, we're just doing a little podcast to talk about like what we're doing as directors and the whole process of taking a show to Fringe. So yeah.
Yeah, nice to get that. She covers my next point of who I am. I'm
Rory.
Rory.
Well, if you wanted to do a bit more of an introduction.
It's good. Steal my thunder. No, it's no problem at all. It's not like it's my podcast or anything. That's fine. Yeah. So who are you? You are Amber. But what do you do? Like, what are you? Are you at uni? What?
Okay. So I'm a third year maths student because I'm really fun like that. I've done Panto Soc with the Uni of Bristol since first year, so I'm about to do, I think, my 6th Panto, so that's quite fun. With Panto Soc in Bristol, we're going to be doing like a space-themed sci-fi Panto for Easter, but yeah, Fringe will be my 3rd time directing, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, cool. So, like, before coming to uni, did you have any kind of background in theatre, that kind of thing? Because, we'll get on to me in a bit, but I think we've had, like, 2 very different experiences, like, coming into this.
Yeah. So, when I was younger, since I was maybe, like, 9 or 10, I did a lot of dancing, till I was, like, 15, so I did a lot of dance competitions. I have had my experience with dance mums, and they are just as toxic in real life as you would expect.
Just as the show.
Well, it's like watching a 9-year-old be, like, not bribed into wearing fake lashes is very intense. And then at school I did a lot of school musicals. So my school, from year 7 to year 11, you'd always have like drama, dance and music lessons like once a week. It was like, it used to be a very drama orientated school. But yeah, so my favourite musical that I've been in was Hairspray, where I played Corny Collins. So that was really fun. I nearly ran over some children in my booth that I was pushed on in because I didn't pull the brakes quick enough, but it's fine. No one got hurt.
Sounds completely mental if you've never seen Hairspray. Like, what does any of that mean? But okay. It's funny because I'm completely different to that because the school I went to wasn't very drama orientated at all.
Boys posh school in Surrey.
It wasn't a boys posh. It was a state school. I just sound a certain way. It's not my fault. But yeah, no, it was very sport orientated. I did rugby for like 8 years. It was a long time. Well, I've ended up with like 7 concussions, so I look forward to the early onset Parkinson's. Can't wait.
Christ abide.
Yeah. So I did that. Wasn't much of an interest in drama until... Well, no, I had an interest in drama, but I just didn't really have much time to do anything with it. I repressed it. Did rugby. I'm doing a law degree, hopefully finishing it. God willing.
You're 3rd year law, right?
Yeah, 3rd year law. So, nearly there. Got through the most of it.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. I'm so close. 2,000 words into my dissertation? I'll get there. But
love that for you.
Yeah, I think it was in 2nd year I kind of got to know you properly, and you introduced me to Panto Soc as well.
And you went from a loser who plays video games in his room every night to a loser who does pantomimes.
Yeah, it wasn't much of an upgrade, was it? But I guess it's something. At least this way I talk to other people in person. So
as opposed to online.
So, with nothing wrong with that, but there you go. But I think that's like kind of the first point I wanted to raise. Like, taking shots to Edinburgh Fringe, if you'd told me 3 years ago that this is how I would be ending my 3s at uni, I just wouldn't have believed you. It's just, it's so far detached from anything I've done before. And we can talk about all of that as we go on a bit once we talk about Panto Soc a bit more. But just, I mean, like, kind of being in stuff and then reading around it and kind of getting more of an interest in musicals and theatre in general. But we'll get onto all of that. So I think for people who are listening to this, I kind of wanted to do it to talk about somebody like me who had no idea about getting into the theatre and stuff like that, what it's like to take a show up to Fringe and just how to do that. And the avenue that we've gone down is to join a part of a society, because that makes a lot of the rest of the stuff we'll talk about in this episode and future episodes an awful lot easier, like getting a cast, funding, stuff like that.
Definitely.
But I mean, we've obviously done it through a uni society. I think it would be just as easy to do through a group of like-minded friends, or even by yourself if you're very determined and had... It's not that expensive, but we'll talk about finances in, again, later episodes once we've talked to our producers a bit more about that kind of thing, just so I know a bit more what I'm talking about. So, I think the first thing that we really need to establish is we are part of Pantos at Bristol Uni. How would you describe a panto to someone who has never heard of a panto before?
Right. So I've had to describe pantos before. I have a few friends who live abroad, and it's always interesting trying to get it across. So I think how I would describe a panto is it's sort of a comedic play that is for families. It's kind of like mixed of a musical, because obviously you have songs intertwined within it and dances and stuff, but there's a very kind of particular kind of humour. It's kind of like when you watch kids' films who are fairly self-aware and intelligently have jokes that work for the parents, because pantos usually have like some kid humour, a lot of adult humour that kind of goes over the kids' heads.
So innuendo.
Yeah. Well, it's not just innuendo. Sometimes it's just kind of like clever jokes, and a lot of the time it will have kind of location-themed jokes. So when I saw pantos in Milton Keynes, they'd take the mick out of like Bletchley. Yeah. Which, you know, fair enough. Bletchley's whatever. Also there's lots of kind of tropes that are very key to a panto. So it's behind you, or, you know, different songs that you might have with like kind of the audience joining in and things like that. Yeah. So it's kind of a lot of you have a lot of like recurring tropes that are used in a panto, and it's always, well, usually a fairy tale it's based off. Yeah, and there's always a dame as well. Always a dame. Which how would you describe a dame? It's essentially a man in drag. Yeah. But not always good drag, like. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it'll be for like the ugly sisters in Cinderella. But a lot of the time it's just kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a caricature of like femininity, or like different parts of it. So like if you have like your evil stepmother who might be played by the dame, and it's kind of very over the top, don't you just love me, and all that stuff. So it's great. You always have a villain, you always have your kind of main guy and gal who will probably fall in love. Yeah. A Buttonsy kind of character, so someone who very much connects with the audience the whole time, which is nice and takes you through the story. Yeah. So, well, it's good to have somebody like Buttons as well, because then that's like one of the person or the person who can then get the audience to start interacting with the he's behind you stuff and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, again, I like the reason we want to cover this is just because talking to international students who have come to like Panto, give it a go and stuff like that, it's just a completely alien concept. So just thought we'd lay it out a bit. And I think that's fairly comprehensive. I think the best way to understand like a British Panto is just to see one. Yeah, it's definitely. It's a Christmas tradition, because I've been seeing them since I was like a babby. Yeah, a babby since 4 years old, something like that. I go every year in my family. Yeah, no, and it's just, it is a proper staple of like, British Christmas time, at least in some circles. It's good fun though, and it is just insanely fun. So I think then that's what a panto is, and not every university has a pantomime society, but Bristol has Pantosoc. Yeah, and I mean, ours is really old as well, actually. I think it's been around, it's like kind of one of the older like panto societies out of like unis in the UK. Like I went to see a panto recently. It was by Clifton Amateur Dramatics, which is like a Bristol kind of just amateur dramatics group, and there were people there who'd done panto and ended up getting married, and there's now little Bristol panto babies. That's very cute. I think as well, we've got for the Bristol, so Pantosoc at Bristol Uni, we've also got a mascot called Dobbin. Yes, the iconic Dobbin. The iconic Dobbin, who is a red horse with white spots, and up until this year was incredibly disgusting. Yes, just to clarify, it's not a real horse. So Dobbin is like a two-man horse costume. So you have someone who is the bum, who like their legs are used as like the back legs, and they just have to bend over the whole time. Yeah. The person at the front has to wear his head, and he had probably not been washed for a good decade. No, he was a stinky boy. Yeah, he's very old. He's very delicate. We have to treat him with care. And there's an urban myth that someone did the dance with no pants on top of Dobbin. Well, two people, you'd imagine.
doing the dance
Well,
with
fine,
no pants.
at least 2 people.
At least 2 people. Oh god! But he's been what? He's so up until the beginning. Oh, it was like the end of last year.
Yeah,
his eyes were falling out. His fur was matted and sticky.
His eyes kind of like. He was sort of boss-eyed, and they'd gone a bit yellow.
Yeah.
So it was very intense because it was like he was staring at you, but he wasn't. And like the eye that sort of wandered really looked into your soul if you had the displeasure of seeing it. So yeah, he recently took a trip up to Cambridge. And he was skinned and refurred.
The pictures of him being skinned are absolutely horrific.
Yeah, I think it might be worth putting that up somewhere in a podcast. Maybe here. Maybe you can edit that in.
Yeah.
Because, God, it's a cursed image if I've ever seen
I think it's at the moment it's the Panto Sock group chat picture, isn't
God.
it?
I think I said it as that. Because I was like, let's keep it cursed.
Yeah, I think we'll put the pictures up of him looking horrific, and we'll also put the pictures of him looking nice up because
he's so cute now.
People also need to know Pantos. They're not scary things. They're fun things.
Yeah. Don't be scared, please.
So yeah, what is Panto Sock then? I guess in its most basic form, it's a society. Like Bristol's also got Spotlights. Which is like kind of the dramatic society, Dram Society, Dramsock. They've also got Dramsock, and Panto Sock. It's like that, only instead of doing a range of shows, they do pantos. Varying types of pantos. What is it? Because we just directed the Christmas one,
which was Snow White.
Yeah, which was Snow White. Which for Christmas they tend to do quite a traditional one.
So Christmas is always the biggest one, and in Bristol there's one. So in Bristol Uni anyway, there's one sort of particularly big theatre which seats like 250 people.
No, the Winston, isn't it?
Yeah. So at Christmas, that's the only time we get to use that theatre. And because a lot of members of the public sometimes come and see the pantos, we tend to pick something more traditional. George and the Dragon was a bit less so. It's less of a sort of panto-y story, but other ones that have been done previously, they've done, Cinderella. Peter Panto was my first ever panto.
Yeah.
They did a version of Aladdin called something like Alad in Bristol.
Nice.
Which was pretty cool. So yeah, whereas spring, so we're coming up to Easter now. Easter's normally a bit more obscure. It's still kind of a few shows and like a sort of month and a half rehearsal period. But then summer. Do you want to talk about summer?
Yes, the summer one, it's done in 24 hours. So we get the lines beforehand. We get to learn them before, probably like a week before, when they release the cast list. But then all the rehearsal, all the dance rehearsal, all the singing rehearsal, it's all done within 24 hours. And it's a chaotic good, but emphasis is on the chaotic.
Yeah. I mean, it's good because it's kind of not too long for exams, so you can't really fully commit to like a full show. So what happened like the year that just went was we had auditions on the Sunday, callbacks Monday, cast list out, script out on the Tuesday, and then the sort of 24-hour period started with Friday at 7. We did a script read through, we learnt the finale dance, went home, had some rest, and then you rehearse all day, and then 7 on Saturday is the show. So it's a long day and a sweaty day and a tiring day, but it's really fun and it's nice kind of like getting to hang out with like friends, because that's, I think, if you're someone who's thinking about going to uni or you're in uni, definitely one of the best ways to make friends is societies, because you have a common interest as well, rather than just like the people you live with or the people on your course. Like you don't necessarily care about the same things, and it's really easy to make friends if you're kind of surrounded by people who like the same things as you.
Yeah, totally. And Panto was good for that, I think, because I wanted to get into acting and stuff like that. Ended up doing an audition for Bristol Spotlights, and it was so serious, and a lot of student writing is also really fucking arsey.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like the calamari.
Oh,
we're not
God,
getting into that.
We won't get into that. That's oh god, the calamari. Definitely a story for just a completely separate occasion. It'll be too off topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that was when I started talking to you. And Panto Sock's like a really nice middle ground, because I also, with the law degree, especially in first and second year, I didn't have a lot of free time. And Panto is a lot more relaxed.
You weren't doing work though, boy. You played video games. You started working this year. Don't lie to the listeners.
Second year, I was working in second year.
I don't know.
Sure.
I've heard mixed. I lived with you last year.
All right, let's not do this now.
Safe word.
Safe word. Train spotting. But yeah, and no, Panto is a really good middle ground for that. It was a good entry point for me, and it's also it's just a lot more relaxed, and people are a lot more relaxed.
Well, I mean, we've had so while I've been at doing Panto here, we've had 4 PhD students, and all of them have been chemistry actually. But you have quite a lot of science students. We did when we did so Give It a Go sessions are free sessions that anyone at the uni can go to like give a society a go and just see what it's all about. And when I was there this Sunday, we just did one for like this term, and there was about 6 maths students. There's like 30 people in the room, and 6 of them were all maths. Because a lot of the time, like you were saying, with kind of student writing being very serious, but also a lot of the other societies like musical theatre and all that, it's really intense auditions. The rehearsals are really intense, and it's just a bit much. And also, if you're not sort of in with the crowd, it can sometimes be difficult to get in.
It was daunting because after I'd done a couple of pantos, the Musical Theatre Bristol, they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
They do a 48-hour musical, which something I could commit to. And I remember walking in to do this audition. And I thought there were like 4 people on the panel just like in front of me, and then I walked in and they were just curving around the room in a big semicircle. I was like, oh my god. But because the first ever this is why I really like Panto as well, because the first ever Panto audition I was shitting bricks. I was
and poor toilet in our house.
Poor toilet. It's been broken like once. It's not important. I was really nervous, and I remember I did Dayman from It's Always Sunny. So, Dayman. That. And I really went for the high notes. Well, you were there because you were auditioning me.
I was. So this will be my second time directing Shrek, actually, taking it to Fringe. So that was my first time directing in your first Panto. So for me it was cool because I was the only director and there was 2 producers. Yeah. And it was like seeing you come in your little face.
I came in and I started singing this song, and I started off fine. I was like, Dayman.
And you got stuck in a high octave.
So
it was sort of like, Dayman, fight throughout the night. And it was like you couldn't get out.
Couldn't go back down.
And I think I was doing the like that bit with you, trying to ease you.
Yes,
into it.
Didn't help. Actually, probably made it worse.
It was fun though.
No, but I mean, point is, like, I came, did that at Panto. If I had done that in an MTB audition, good fucking God, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Would not have been a good time. I would have been mortified. But no, it was just something we could laugh off. And, you found it funny. And then that's also a key thing as well, because it's like, people, you get heckled in Panto a lot. I've been heckled before.
Yeah.
You can take a joke and, you can give one back.
Yeah, that's something else that's fun. Like, something I didn't kind of say when we were talking about Pantos earlier.
Yeah.
Is like there is some improv in most of them.
Yes.
You don't kind of want too much because it's not an improv show. Like, there is a script, and especially when there's multiple shows, you want every audience to get a similar experience. Like, we don't want to change it every time. It's not that sort of experience.
Yeah.
But funny story when you first joined Panto. So Rory's a bit of a gym lad. You can't see him.
You can't see it, but
he's flexing right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a mirror actually, and
oh my god, we're not going to talk about the mirror.
Nice.
But so one of his first rehearsals, so he was playing Gaston. So one of the things with Bristol Pantos is everyone who auditions, so we have a sign-up sheet and there's a maximum amount of people who can audition because everyone gets a part.
Yeah.
So
Shrek, it's really inclusive that way.
Yeah.
It's just another reason, again, just why I did it over anything else, because it was kind of a guaranteed thing.
Yeah, you'd get in.
Again, very casual because you've got a nice mix of abilities.
Literally.
Everybody's very supportive. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so there's 35 cast, so everyone has a part, and Rory was playing Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, very iconic for a gym boy.
Yeah.
And one of his lines was something like, what woman could what was it, resist this sexy bod?
This sexy body.
And it was Rory, do the peck thing. And it was like your first rehearsal, you hadn't really met anyone, and he starts popping his pecs one at a time, like absolute, you're like an arse. Everyone was fine with it.
That's how you get a reputation. Well, you encouraged it, you're the worst.
No, I laughed a lot because I just find it so funny.
I think that is a large part of our dynamic, though, you just laughing at things I do.
Yeah.
I
mean, you are... Yeah, I don't want to get into it now.
Okay, we'll say
Episode 10, insulting Rory.
What was it? I mean, it did get to the point, though, when we were co-directing Shrek the Panto most recently.
Snow White.
Snow White, sorry. Where we did one of the rehearsals, and you came in and just said to the cast, right, as a warm-up, everyone, we're going to bully Rory. Just give him your best.
Look, I'm not a bully. I'm not a bully.
Sure sounds like you're a bully.
No, it was because Rory had recently bleached his hair because he was hoping to play Rocky in the well-known musical Rocky Horror, except as it was MTV, he didn't get that part.
I mean, I was close. I got to call that, whatever. No, but I'm not
cool.
bitter. I definitely didn't end up getting the shorts and hanging them up on my cupboard, which they
used shorts by someone else who played Rocky over him.
They're behind
Anyways. I don't even know what I was talking about.
It was
you
the bleached
your
hair
and it went green. He dyed it
green.
back to like a blonde, and basically, if you don't add reds and other colours to hair, this is very boring. It goes green. So we were in this rehearsal, and someone brought up a picture of we can put it here of a sloth with green algae. And it was the exact colour of Rory's hair. And he was meant to be leading the warm-up, and just no one could look at you. Like, they were laughing so much. But, that like it's all light-hearted. We're not a bunch of bullies.
Well, no, it is good fun. I think that's, it was good as well because, you get heckled in Pantos, and it's quite good being able to give it back. And I mean, obviously...
he can give it as good as he takes,
and nobody gets picked on. That's
no, definitely not.
Something to make clear. But
and it's like, Rory, you're like very chill about stuff like that. Like, if you were kind of like more sensitive, it wouldn't happen.
Well, it's just like, don't take yourself seriously. Don't have time for that. I think that's a nice bit of background about kind of Pantosoc at Bristol Uni and what we do. Yeah. I think just kind of quick summary. We do 3 Pantos a year in term time. The Christmas one quite traditional. Easter one less so.
Still 4 shows.
Yeah. And then summer one for 24 hours.
Yeah, and it's normally
can be anything. Well, last time it was Twilight. That was good fun.
It was fun.
And
I got to do a very fun accent when I played Dracula. It was interesting.
Yeah. What do you mean Dracula isn't in Twilight? It was in this one. And so that's Pantosoc in a nutshell, with Dobbin, of course. I'm looking at the Twilight, the Panto poster at the moment.
Yeah, we'll stick that in too, because that's hella cut. It's so wonderful. It was made by the publicities officer, Nina, so shout out to you. You did a good job.
But yeah, Pantosoc, nice chill acting society, and how we've been able to starting the process of taking Shrek the Panto up to Fringe. I think let's talk about what Shrek the Panto is, because obviously you directed that first of all, and then we'll talk about why it's been why it's taken being up to Fringe and how that all happened with the voting and everything. So Shrek the Panto, who was it written by? It was written by 2 members of Pantosoc.
So Hope White and Sophie Taylor.
Yeah.
They wrote it. So I won't go too much into it because in case you're going to watch it,
obviously
I wouldn't want spoilers. But essentially a bit of a synopsis. It's set after Shrek 2 because we all know the other films were god awful. And Shrek and Fiona have broken up. And Fairy Godmother, she's back and she's a villain in it. And she's helping Lord Farquaad, who was shat out of the dragon, to get his own back at Shrek and Fiona as well. So it's sort of a similar thing of Fiona's sort of tricked and Lord Farquaad's in disguise, and they end up getting together. And Shrek's the only guy who can see, or the only ogre who can see through it, and he goes on a journey with his companion, so Puss in Boots, Donkey, and a new companion who was written in called Peter. And they go off on an adventure to rescue Princess Fiona. It's
good, and that was my first Panto. Yeah. Originally, it was an Easter Panto, so again one of the less traditional ones. Yeah, obviously.
It was really fun. It was the room we did it in was sort of 66 seats. It sold out every night, and there was actually one night where I don't know if people snuck in or what happened, but some people actually turned away, which was really
so popular,
sad.
So exclusive.
But it was very fun, and like for me, it was my first time directing, and I absolutely loved everything about it.
And how many stars? Look at you being all humble. You don't normally shut up about this. How many stars did you get?
So, from Epigram, which is Bristol student paper, got 5 stars.
Yes.
So that was amazing. Very, very happy to hear that. We also got another review from Intermission, which is another kind of Bristol like Drama Society thing.
Yeah.
Paper, and they give us 4 stars. And I mean, that's still like, I'm happy with that. They were like, I think the thing with Epigram was they really got it being a panto, and the nicest thing in their review actually was they sort of ended it with saying that one of the things they really noticed was how much fun the cast was having.
Yeah.
And I think that meant the most to me, because as much fun as I had doing it and as proud as I was of everyone, and it looked so good.
Yeah.
It was, the whole time I was very conscious of like, is everyone having fun? Like, are they enjoying themselves? And it was, we had a few dropouts, so the cast ended up being 27 people. so a few people had to like double up parts, and it just made it so much more fun, and like loads of people got to do a lot of different things, and it was just a really, really great experience.
Amber's actually tearing up right now.
Oh, I
can
am.
see
You
her
can
welling
see it.
up. It's
Oh my god, tears are pouring
pussy.
down my face. I'm not. I'm just very. I cried on the last show, like when that, because I'm also a massive pain in the arse director because I take
Just a bit.
a lot of notes.
Yeah, it's we complement each other quite. We'll talk about that in a bit. But we complement each other quite well in our directing styles, I think. But no, in a good way. In a good way. We definitely fill in each other's gaps.
Yes. So like in a show, if I've got like a sort of small notebook, I'll go through like a good sort of like 10 sheets of paper just scribbling out notes. So like I think we'll talk in another episode about directing styles, so don't go into that too much.
Yeah, I mean I'm very much focused on kind of big general things. Like if there's glaring issues.
It was more like in the last show I didn't take any notes because obviously it's the last show. But even if I'd had to, I would have had to write down like 2 bullet points maybe of like teeny weeny things that messed up, but it was like so good, and it was like quite emotional because it's like you work really hard on this thing, it's like your baby or my joint baby with the writers, and just seeing it come to life and everyone thrived on stage as it were was just amazing. You getting heckled, I mean you taking your shirt off was a bit much.
I also got
no
to take
one
my
needs to
shirt
see
off.
that.
Well, I think it's happened in every panto since, so clearly there's a demand for
it's
it.
you doing
Well,
it. No one asked for it. No one asked.
I think that's. I've got
I
a
just
fan
want to
club.
like pin this up. No, you don't.
Well,
You know the breast crush about you was made by one of your friends.
I mean, yes, I know that was made about one, but it's the general feel from the audience and the whispers you hear around
you
campus.
Tell, this is why we bully Rory.
Anyway, point is, Shrek the Panto was a successful panto. Everybody had a good time doing it. So, when it came to deciding what panto to do for Fringe, how it works is was it the panto SOP committee? Yeah, we had proposals at a pub. I can't remember which one it was. Pub up in Clifton. We all sat round. Different people were putting pantos forward. We had a couple of other ones as well. Yeah. Some ones that were I can't remember what. Jack and the Beanstalk. That was one.
With emphasis on Jackin because it was going to be
because it was
more of an adult panto.
Yeah,
that's the other thing is our style pantos have more adult humour, so they're not really for children. They're sort of 14 plus.
Yeah, and there's going to be lots of swearing in these podcasts. Yeah. Definitely.
So turn off now, children.
I mean, gonna be putting Shrek in the description, so it's gonna be ooh.
And
anyway, so it was. I think it might have just been the two of them. No, yeah. Was there another one? Can't remember.
I can't remember.
Well, anyway, there were at least two, and so what happened was the people from the society that had gathered there, each proposal was explained. By the people who had written it, were putting it forward. They went away. We had a vote on it. We asked them some questions as well about their pantos, and so Shrek ended up getting voted in by the committee and the other people who were there, like myself and Amber. We're not on the committee, but we were just there to vote. And I think because we also at that same time ran as co-directors again in that meeting. Yeah. And I know that we both quite like the idea of doing Shrek the Panto up at Edinburgh Fringe, just because, again, I don't know how many people are kind of into Panto, into Panto up at Fringe. We wanted to really stand out, and Shrek the Panto is it just sounds very unique, and
it is very unique.
It's a very unique show. So hopefully it's going to be eye catching. Obviously, but it's also kind of people know what Shrek is. Although we are definitely we're fine with copyrights. Definitely like a satire and stuff like that. So we're good.
Yeah, it's a very different story.
So that's all fine. But yeah, I think we take that up there. It's just going to stand out, and everybody just had so much fun doing it the first time. That was another big factor. I think I'm looking forward to seeing. Well, I think you must be looking forward to redo it because you've very gushed about how much you loved doing it the first time. You big wet wipe.
I really enjoy. I just like directing. I like bossing people about.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about you.
Well, it's also the process of when you're sort of editing a script and you're looking at it and you get to sort of change a line here or there, or there's something you're not too sure and you get to sort of edit that up a bit with your editors.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of when you take that script and you can actually see it come to life. Because for me, when I was in school and I was doing school musicals, I always wanted to be someone who got to lead it, but it was always done by our teachers, which is fine, it's their thing. But it was
their thing. They're teachers. Yes, it is their thing.
Some schools do let students do some of the directing stuff, but my school wasn't one of those.
Okay.
But it was something I really wanted to do, and I ran to direct actually a different Christmas show, and I lost, which is fair. because for Christmas they often want someone who's done directing before.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have any experience. And to be honest, it worked out better because if I'd won then, I almost definitely would not have got to do Shrek.
Yeah.
So you know,
yeah,
it all worked out.
So yeah, taking it up to Fringe then, because good panto, it's going to stand out, all of that kind of stuff. We enjoy. Bless
Jesus
me.
Christ! Don't say bless me when you
bless
burp.
Me. Well, I mean,
no, that's not. It's
blessing.
Excuse me. Get some etiquette. Have some bloody decorum.
Sorry, Mum.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so her.
We're taking out there because it's a laugh as well. What else is there to say about it? That's kind of, I guess, all the reasoning that those were basically the big themes of the evening when we were deciding what to do. So it got voted in. Yeah, what show we're taking up? How is it decided? What else is there to say about it? What else do we need to?
I don't know. So like with Panto Sock, normally it's every other year they take a show up to Fringe. But actually, like the summer just gone, they took Shakespeare the Panto to Fringe, and the society kind of realised like, hey, a lot of people really like Fringe, and there's no real reason to not have it every other year, if we can afford it. Again, we'll go into sort of expense stuff, and because it can be a bit pricey going to Fringe, you have to find somewhere to live, has to be self-funded, a lot of fundraising and stuff. So we can probably talk about what we'll be doing for fundraising when it comes to that. But yeah, they just kind of realised, hey, a lot of people like it, and for people like me and Rory, if we didn't go in second year and we have, you know, a 3-year long degree, that was our only shot.
Yeah.
So it's nice that like we actually get a chance to go.
Yeah. It's so much fun as well. I'm guessing people who are listening to this, if anyone, we just get relegated.
Overconfident.
We get relegated to like kind of the dark side of YouTube.
Oh god.
But no, I think
vocoded.
It's just such a fun experience being able to go up to Fringe, because I went up last year to go and see Shakespeare the Panto.
Yeah.
The Panto
I visited
Sock.
as well.
Yeah. And I just had so much fun at the Fringe. I would have been really upset if I didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
And just taking shots Fringe, it's just such a cool thing to do. And would highly, well, so far it has been. Like, I don't know, like talk to me like 4 months down the line, I might be bald and feeling the aneurysm.
Kill all of them.
Jesus Christ. My God, the cast.
No, they seem lovely. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good starting point. I think what have we covered? We covered who we are.
Yeah.
What Panto Sock is.
How much of a gimp you are.
Yeah, well, no, I think, he's pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool guy
He's
over
not
here.
a cool guy.
Pretty cool. We've covered who we are, what Panto Sock is. We're taking Shrek the Panto up to Fringe. We've kind of discussed how that came about, why we did it, basically just because it's a laugh.
Yeah.
And I think, keep it 98% fun.
Keep it 98% fun. That is the tagline. Keep it 98% fun.
And it's not.
It now is.
Can
so
be.
Don't worry.
Is that, I think that's everything. I think that's where we'll leave it. We just did finish the auditions and release the cast list over the last 2 days.
So we'll probably talk about that in the next one.
That's what we'll talk about in the next one. And I think that wraps up. Unless you can think of anything else. Anything else you want to add?
No, if you're thinking about ever doing a panto, do it. Or if you're not sure about uni society, like, I'd recommend so much just giving stuff like this a go when you're in university, because obviously there's sort of amateur dramatic societies and stuff, but not everyone gets to go to Fringe or get to do a show in like an actual theatre, or like even directing stuff. Like, I always wanted to do this, and I don't feel like I would have had the chance if I hadn't gone to uni. Maybe I don't know. So if there's opportunities for stuff like that, go for it. And just because we're maths and law students doesn't mean that we can't do acting stuff, or directing.
I think apart from all the other stuff we've already talked about, that I want that to be the big takeaway from this one, just because we both have an interest in that kind of thing. Like over Christmas I would see Teenage Dick up at the Donmar in London, and I'll go and see theatre whenever I get the chance. Saw Book of Mormon the other day. I just love it, and me not doing a theatre degree or anything related to that, and I'm still getting the chance to direct a show, be in shows, and take something up to
bloody Fringe.
I get to do something up at Edinburgh Fringe, and that's insane, and it is so much fun. And I think we'll just keep on bringing it back to that now throughout all the other episodes. Just that anybody can do this, because if we can,
literally anyone can.
Literally anyone can. Like you do not know how chaotic we are. Not yet. I reckon it'll come out more and more, but But yeah, good. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
If you did.
Whoever is out there on the internet. Got any questions? Leave it in the comments.
And we might answer them.
Yeah, we might answer them.
But again, we might not.
I'll put you in charge of publicity.
Oh my God, you're a dead man walking.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Bye.